We are live. Welcome to 0 Degrees. I'm Jordan Menard. I'm joined with Tanner Panzelli, Kiefer Godfrey, and Jordan O.U. Smith. What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
Evening listeners.
Hello.
We were just talking about our radio voices, so we're kind of working on it. Tanner,
Yeah.
I think you got a pretty solid one, but I think OU takes the cake.
It's not even close.
Not
dude.
even
Yeah,
close.
I know.
And
Yeah.
when I hear OU talk on this, I'm like, damn, I want to call in a long distance dedication.
I'm gonna have to get this like permanent voice filter, just so I sound like this 24/7.
Yeah.
What do you mean, bro?
You don't need one.
I don't
We
need
should
one.
get
you
those.
do.
Oh wow, this is what I sound like to you guys.
I mean, it's not like this, like in
Clear? Yeah, it's not like deep
It's
in
not
your
like
You're
soul.
not speaking into our ears.
It's not like
no,
you're
yeah.
whispering into my ear.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of creepy at the level that I can like the detail I hear your voice.
I like it.
I know everything
We're
about
gonna
you.
we're
now.
gonna get you a soundboard for your birthday.
Oh yeah.
All the clips that we recorded, we'll put it on a board for you.
Dude, Jess would totally hate that. 'cause
Oh my gosh, man.
I'd
Dude,
have one for
in,
everything.
in a different life, you were for sure like a radio disc
Yeah.
jockey,
Yeah.
or
100%.
at least you were like reading commercials.
Yeah.
For
Or
sure.
narrating films.
Something, man. You know, my voice is out there in those airwaves, distant into the space. You know.
Yeah.
Now they're on the internet.
Again, I
Yeah,
feel like the
yeah.
long distance dedication, playing smooth jazz, just
There
one
we
of those
go.
stations.
Yeah,
You know what I
baby.
mean?
I don't know. It's in my soul.
Shout out to Casey Kasem. All right. Well,
So how you guys doing?
I'm good. Today was unreasonably hot. I'm thankful that we shoot at night.
Yes.
I'm super over how humid it is all the time. Every time it's like this humid, I kind of want like a refund from my landlord because I feel like we pay a sunshine tax here, but sometimes it gets overbearing.
Yeah, too much sunshine.
Too much, man. Too much.
Yeah, dude, not to mention our office. The construction is brutal.
Yeah, the combination of super humid and people installing new windows into the wall.
Dude, in the middle of your workday, could you imagine?
Not sick.
No.
Makes you gotta, get that Zen-like focus. Get in there.
It's
Forget
weird.
about what's going on around
Yeah.
you, and
Do you guys meditate?
No,
kind
no.
of.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's like the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty broad. Like what kind of you do a different kind of meditation, right?
Transcendental.
Transcendental. Explain.
It's like finding like a mantra and like focusing on nothing. And they have like a bunch of mantras you can look online, and everyone preaches about like these crazy benefits. I've only experienced it one time, but that one time has made me like super curious about it. I can never stay focused. Usually I can only make it like 5 or 6 minutes. It's super pathetic, but I'm trying to get better at it.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you're already seeing benefits, you said?
I don't see like massive benefits every day. I know a lot
Incremental.
of people do,
Yeah.
but I think one time I did. Like I don't know what happened that time, but like I got to that state, and like I all of a sudden like my eyes were closed for like 25 minutes, and I've never been
Whoa.
able to go longer than like 5.
You sure you weren't asleep?
Positive,
Okay.
but it
Sweet.
wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. It was like it's hard to explain. It was in my garage, but I was just like sitting there thinking, and I decided to meditate, and it worked really, really well. And it was like when I just had learned, or just was being interested in this, and so I've been watching videos about it, but I still don't know how to do it like well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people I've, talked to that said they meditate. They always say that it takes a lot of work and that you're never going to
Yeah.
get it your first couple tries or your first week or two. That it takes like real solid time and like dedication and like work.
Yeah.
Doing nothing and just laying there and, thinking doesn't seem like a lot of work. But that's, from what I've heard, I guess I wouldn't be someone that could speak from experience. But I mean,
I hear nothing but good things. I mean, I mean, from anyone that has ever tried it and like succeeded, they say like nothing but great things. I don't know. I kind of meditate in a different way. I don't do it as intentionally as like sitting down and like thinking about something. I'll go and like, I'll almost do it when I'm like exercising. And maybe you can relate to this as a biker. Like when you're biking, you kind of get into this like mental flow where it's almost meditative, you know?
I can see like, but that's definitely not meditation, right? Like
For sure.
the point of meditation is still
Not in
like,
its purest form.
well, it's just like what it does is like you remove yourself from everything, and like you just approach everything with like a much more, I don't want to say relaxed, but it's like you have a more accurate perspective of everything, and the small things don't seem big, they seem small.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important, in today's world where there's so many distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's in Traffic Pilot, right? Folks can track meditation in Traffic Pilot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have been trying to get good at meditation for a couple months. I'm still bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
But so many people I respect speak so highly of
Right.
it that like I've kind of accepted the fact that there's probably something really good there and I just need to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think there's value in doing something that you don't want to do, but you know is valuable, right?
for sure.
And mentally building those things up are good. Because I look at my life and I think there's so many things I wish I could change about the way I do things, but I kind of think, oh, that's just how I am. But you read a book like Psycho-Cybernetics and you realize that's not that true. You could change it if you were willing to do all of the work.
Mm-hmm.
The question is how, is it worth the effort?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot of resistance to change naturally. So just, changing anything in your life is hard, let alone like who you are and like what your habits are.
So when I set out to make Traffic Pilot, like one of the big issues that I confronted early on was I can teach you all of the Facebook ad strategies. I can teach you all the data stuff. I can teach you everything that like I taught OU when you first came here. Like I could teach someone that, but that doesn't mean they're going to be successful because you can teach someone how to use a hammer, the ins and outs of it. But at the end of the day, they still got to put that nail in the wall.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so Traffic Pilot, like I realized making a course wasn't enough. I had to build something that tackled the fundamental issues of why people don't succeed. And that's because they don't have the habits and character traits that they need to be successful at the highest level. And so how do you become a successful person, right? If you ask that question to everyone, I think most people will give you an answer of you have to make X amount of money, you have to get X degrees, maybe have kids, right? Like those level, they would say that's like a successful person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really look at it like that. I look at those things as being like symptoms of being a successful person. You look at someone who's successful and it's like they've learned what they're good at. They've learned who they are, and they've learned how to live with all the problems that make them them. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people will look at a successful person just based off wealth or whatever and not really look at the character traits like that person used to become successful.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I wanted to do with Traffic Pilot was identify those traits and then get people to mimic them until they became habit, until they became hardwired in their brain.
Right. Through gamification.
Through gamification and through learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the gamification model came from how cool NBA Jam was. Like I was playing a lot of NBA Jam and
Still do.
I still do. It's a great game. All the video games I like are like from 1995 and before. But yeah, so I'm playing NBA Jam and I noticed that like every time I make 2 in a row, I'm heating up. I'm like, oh, I gotta get on fire. I gotta go 3. Once I get on fire, then I can just like shoot all the threes and hit it every time. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna put that same gamification for using the tools to encourage people to keep doing it and keep using them. And the whole idea was that I could use the same things that the social media platforms in the world use for bad to get people addicted and get people constantly on their phone and revisiting Instagram 45 times a day could be used for good to teach people how to reprogram their brain to be a successful person. And so if it works, will remain to be seen. But that was really the drive behind it.
Yeah, because I think, being successful is more than just making money. I've met a lot of people in my life that have money, and I wouldn't call them successful. I wouldn't say I would trade my life for theirs.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to take on what they feel because it's probably not success in their minds, no matter what they've achieved and no matter what the people around them probably think about them.
I was going to ask, like, do you think they're successful? Do you think
No.
they see themselves as successful? Because it's like, success is one of those things that's
It's
like
relative.
always, it's
Yeah.
relative, right? It's, it's subjective. So it's like, You'd say no.
So I would
Not
say,
truly, no.
yeah, I agree with Pans. Like
Yeah.
if you don't like inspire me on some level, I don't really think you know, I don't know. I guess you could say you're successful because you bought a house and stuff like that, but like, is that a successful life? That doesn't mean you're happy. That
Yeah.
doesn't
But yeah,
mean-
if they're not happy, you're not really successful.
The term
you
is
know?
so broad, you know. It's like,
If
what
you're
is
chasing
success?
money and that's not going to get you success, that's not going to make you feel better. You got to be chasing something else.
Yeah, a higher purpose.
What I find interesting is that lots of times doing the right thing benefits like everything, right? Like becoming a good
Sure.
person, like who can handle who's like super responsible, let's say. You're just a very responsible individual. You're going to be like a good partner, a good dad, good spouse, or a good mom, and a good business person, right? It's going to translate into all three areas. So it's like, I think if you start looking at success as character traits, right? There are character traits that make me successful. There aren't status symbols or income tax brackets or material things, right? It's character. And once you start defining success like that, then I think that's when you start to learn to imitate the characters that you see. If we're being honest, we're all still those kids that saw someone being cool and tried to be like them,
Yes.
right? We're all still those kids. And like, I think that's everyone in the world. And so being honest with yourself that everyone's like that, and then understanding what characteristics of people make them successful, then imitating that makes success like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
Dude, that framework's going to help a lot of people, associate differently what success is for them. Because when you look at the materialistic route, or, a lot of people that are flooding your newsfeed, you see materialistic things and you think that's what you want in your life, but really you need to be driven by something else to get there and be happy.
Big
Because those
facts.
people aren't, like we already said, they're not necessarily happy with all of these things. You can live in a fat house and feel completely alone and have people all around you. But if that doesn't bring you true happiness, then you'll just never feel free and always feel trapped by something.
Do you think, like, with the way like younger people consume media, that like that definition of success is becoming more and more unrealistic? You like hinted at the news feed.
So
That's a scary proposition.
I'm not. So I definitely think it's unrealistic on some level, but that's not the thing that concerns me. What concerns me is that it's a false promise, right? So like, when people see Lambos, like they see this guy who appears to be living this lifestyle, and it looks amazing, right? And so it's not even that they want the Lambo, right? Most guys that buy Lambos don't know how to drive them. They don't know how to go fast. They don't know how to really like push the machine, right? So they buy it for status symbols. They buy it so people will look at them. But once they get that thing, they realize it doesn't mean anything.
It's very empty.
Maybe people will look at you a couple times. So what does that mean when you go home and eat takeout by yourself for the 34th night in a row?
Right.
Yeah.
In your gigantic apartment alone.
Yeah,
It almost makes it even worse.
Exactly.
It's like,
Exactly.
if I'll be rich, when I'm rich, then I'll be happy.
Yeah, because when you're poor, you have like hope. But if you're rich, you're like, dude, I have all this money and no one still likes me. Like, what the hell, you know? Like,
Rather
Yeah.
than, or live your life more like try to be happy and then you'll be rich, aka like fulfilled with whatever satisfies
Well,
you,
being
what makes you
happy, I mean, I think everyone wants to be successful and like have something to work towards. And I think, if you have something to work towards and that's what makes you happy, then you'll be able to be successful financially and continue to live like a happy life.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to have more meaning than just money.
For sure. Like, I think so. Back to what OU said earlier about like that being like, or like reestablishing a framework for how people value success or view success. I think what's crazy is people think that they need to exude that like portrayal of success in order to like inspire their employees and get people to want to work for them, build the brand. But that's not true. Like, people want to work for people that make them feel valued and lead well.
And have a sense of ownership.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a huge component, I think.
For sure. Yeah, they want to feel like they have equity in something. Yeah, they own a part of something. But it's just interesting because I think the platforms and the guys, you know, especially in like the info marketing space of old, really put out this idea that like you could get rich in digital marketing, and if you didn't get rich in the first month, like maybe you did something wrong, you know. When everyone I talk to, it's like, yeah, no, the first 2 years suck.
Mm-hmm.
IZ, I wish you could come in here too, bud.
Yeah, it's false expectations, and then almost shaming for failure. It's like, well, that doesn't help either. You
Well,
can't-
it prevents people from actually becoming successful because they fail and they're like, oh, I failed, therefore I'm not good at this. That guy in the Lambo told me
right, which
it's
is such
easy.
a bad message, right?
Yeah.
Inherently,
Right.
Setting a false expectation for a lot
Right.
of people. I fell into that trap initially when I got started. You know, my first month didn't go accordingly, and I thought I sucked. Like, so,
Yeah, me too.
you know, I strayed away from it for a little bit, and it took a lot for me to come back in. What up, Z?
Yeah, Z agrees. Yeah, he's passionate
true.
about this subject.
For sure, for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. So, how many months was it before you started seeing like some success?
Man, honestly, probably I'd have to think about it. It was a while. Like I wouldn't even say my first year. I had to learn so much about what I failed or what I did wrong,
Right.
and I was just barely scraping by. I didn't really know my numbers, and it was just like, oh, okay, I'm making money.
I have a good story about
Yeah.
this.
Let's hear it.
So
Let's
it's
hear
just like, you know, eventually you learn as you go, and as you continue to develop, like, and you just stick to it, things get better. You eventually learn the things you did wrong. You make improvements, and you just keep, like anything you want to be good at, you have to keep chipping away at
For
it.
sure.
And eventually it's going to strike for you, but just don't give up, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
just keep pushing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, now I was thinking of another responsibility. Stuff, but, yeah, so speaking of getting started in online marketing, a lot of people make it seem like you just immediately start and boom, you're good. Not true.
No.
So I was working as like an affiliate, and it was like, I'm not going to get into what it was, but it was like Nutra stuff, right? And so the first, you know, they just gave me a credit card, and you know, they said, look, I know you're gonna have to lose some money, but you'll figure it out, or you'll get fired. And I was like, okay. So, you know, I'm probably $3,000 in the hole, and I know that around $5,000, like,
This is Google PPC?
no, this is Facebook.
Oh, early Facebook.
Early
Wow.
Facebook, yeah.
When you can get away with the crazy stuff.
That's right.
Mm.
Yeah. And so it was all based on the creative back then. Same thing. But it was all based on the creative, and like I didn't know what I was doing, you know. I was just throwing everything at the wall and nothing could stick. One night I find this image on Pinterest, rip it, make an ad out of it, and I publish it, and I was like, you know what? If it's going to be like, you know, 5,000, I think this is the best one I've ever made. I just had this feeling. I was like, I'm putting $500 a day. Like, and right before I close it, I'm like, whatever. Just put 1,000. Press enter, close the computer, go to the bar, go partying. Wake up the next day. I'm like, I wake up probably like 1 or 2. Like, stayed out way too late shooting pool. Like, I was living in PB at the time, and then I freak out because I'm like, oh dude, I probably spent $500-600, and I wasn't there to turn it off.
And you're probably drunk now.
No, well, I mean, I'm hungover now. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the next morning. It's like 2 p.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
Yeah, we came back home at like 4 a.m. and like woke up at 2 p.m. Like, oh dude, I spent like $600-700. Like, and so I freak out, log on, and there was like $6,000 in revenue.
Wow.
And it was the first time
Sick.
it was the first time I was like I saw the power
Wow.
of internet marketing.
Wow.
And
Yeah, that's it right there.
it was
That's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah,
How stoked were you?
I mean, I was freaking out.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be like super rich.
Like, I just got to do this
You
again.
went back to the bar.
Yeah. Stayed out all night again.
the next
Probably true.
No, the next day I just got ready to launch campaigns, and I launched like 5 more, and got the account banned.
Bummer.
And it all came to a crashing halt. Yeah.
Jeez. How
Life
much
on
longer did you run
Facebook,
that
dude.
offer?
End of story.
Yeah, right. That's crazy, man. That's definitely moving into like the gray and the black hat world, but
I mean, I didn't say that, but
Yeah.
thank you, 6ix9ine.
Yeah. Hey, what? It's old. That was years ago.
Yeah, it was. It doesn't mean we need to start snitching on our friends, but hey, each their own.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations doesn't exist in Mark's eyes. So
Oh yeah, dude.
yeah, he's gonna come after you.
Yeah. Go to Facebook jail. That's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, dude. Speaking of, Mark hit us with some weird stuff today in Facebook.
Very weird.
What happened?
We got an account banned in like 6 seconds of publishing an ad or campaign.
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
Very weird.
Never
Whoa.
seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Got it back like
If-
5 minutes later.
We got it back 5 minutes later, and then got it banned again.
Oh, wow. So it's not running right now.
Nope. But that's just life on Facebook for you, you know? Eventually,
I
just
think-
like you get used to that stuff.
Yeah, so I think like it. Let's move away from approvals and talk more about like Facebook at large, like as the platform. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that
kinda
client
boring.
specifically, and yeah, okay,
Yeah.
most but anyway, that speaking of that client, I didn't want to talk about that client has an offer that I think is really interesting. They basically pay people to become leads, and that is like the most information age thing you could ever imagine. It's so smart. It's so smart because you literally sell nothing. You have no product.
You're giving away money.
They figured out how to finesse, dude. In a very, very like it's dialed in the whole thing. It's
But
beautiful.
but the
It's so
trickiest part,
impressive.
and correct me if I'm wrong, is like monetizing that on the back end though.
yeah, you gotta know your
You
shit.
gotta know your stuff.
Right.
You gotta know
Yeah.
your shit.
Of course, yeah, of course. But you know, it's funny how it appears like a nice, friendly. Oh, it's just a survey, but you know, or
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is. I mean,
It is,
It
yeah.
is just still a survey. It's just, it's marketing, right? It's good marketing.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should do if you're buying data at large. Just really figure out how you can, milk it. There's just many ways to create products and sell back to the list that you're currently paying for.
So to properly measure that, would you take the cost of the giveaway and calculate that as your, cost per lead or your CPA? Would that be a wise thing to do?
No.
No?
No. At the end of the day, and I think this is controversial, but at the end of the day, never go more. Like at the end of the day, you want to get your money back on online marketing plus at least 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Cash collected every day. Otherwise, you will go underwater eventually. And I preach that rule hard. And OU, we always just did it, so it never mattered.
Oh yeah, cash. We operate on cash.
Cash
only,
is
baby.
king. Yeah, exactly. It's the hustler mindset, I swear. You know what I mean? But like I think a lot of people too, like a lot of people use like Facebook and Instagram without even understanding why that company is worth so much.
I know.
Right? Like if you look at Facebook's market cap, it's like $776 billion. That's just shy of $1 trillion.
It's wild.
Right? That's just insane. That is just insane.
Yeah.
But if you ask someone, how does Facebook make money? I guarantee most people don't know.
No, most people don't know, especially our government, which is the scariest part, I think. When the government doesn't even know what's going on, let alone the people.
What was that movie you put on earlier?
I think it's called The Social Dilemma.
Yeah, The Social Dilemma. It's like buzzing everywhere.
Yeah.
And per usual, I haven't seen it, but we put it on earlier, and I got this quote that I loved. And in regards to like what social media sells and what the product of social media is, the answer is the gradual, slight, imperceptible change in your own behavior and perception that is the product.
Whoa. Who thought of that? Who wrote that?
I don't know.
Me. Who was that? Oh, shit. He's dope.
Manny, you officially have to be here on all podcasts at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be.
Yeah, okay, dope.
Yeah, nice.
For those that don't know Manny, Manny is our CTO. He builds incredible platforms and among doing other things as well. And most people in Encinitas and Carlsbad know him as the Puerto Rican Wozniak. but that will eventually take the world by storm. We're still waiting on it, but it's coming.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait for the first Forbes article.
Bro, watch.
Dude, we're gonna do the interview in here. He looked up. He finally looked up from his computer, guys.
So you guys think like, well, all I gotta say is that was foreshadowing.
I say he gets the cover, not just an article.
Ooh.
Well, I can't go there, but
Ooh.
I can definitely make sure that article happens like right now.
Yeah. Yeah. We play some bets on this. What kind of action do we have on this?
I don't know. Speaking of betting,
It's a hell of a future.
that's pretty much what stocks are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's legal. It's legalized. I mean, it's legal gambling, essentially. I mean, I don't know much about it. I just know the bare minimums. I'm no expert, but
I should say there's more options.
yeah, options kind of seem like gambling. I mean, you look at the contract prices, you look at the strike price, all of it. It's just like odds. It's like sports betting in so many ways. I wonder what has more risk. Probably sports betting. It's a little bit
For
more
sure.
unpredictable. Yeah,
For sure.
duh. Answer my own question.
For sure. But either way, I mean, crazy stuff happens all the time.
For
And,
sure.
You know, you look at any time like a market, you know, way overvalues something, you know, creates a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And as millennials, you know, that's just like part of our pastime is living through bubbles that destroy the economy.
Yeah, it's kind of the American way, man.
Yeah.
We just live on credit until it's due, and we then go bankrupt, and then we just keep living on credit.
Yeah.
As far as I understand it.
Yeah, if you really find out how the real estate market collapsed, douchebags traded each other meaningless things for paper, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and just getting richer.
Yeah, they just kept repackaging loans and selling the
Exactly.
repackaged loans, all subprime, so
Exactly.
shitty. And then on the front end, I think the homeowners are the ones that got screwed with the interest rates. They were like locked for what, like a year or two, and then what do they call that? See,
I know
we're,
what you-
you know what I mean?
yeah,
We're marketers, not
they
financiers.
they describe it so well in The Big Short.
I know. Yeah.
That movie is amazing.
Yeah, it is good. I've had to watch it twice to like fully get kind of all of it. It was good.
Where do you think Facebook ranks on like valuable companies, valuable American companies? I'm curious to know.
Up there, man.
Hey, can you look that up?
Up there.
Who else would be at that top of that list, you think?
Apple,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Apple,
Apple.
Amazon,
Google.
Google for sure.
It's just
Microsoft.
just tech giants, Boeing.
No, definitely not just tech giants. There's got to be.
I don't know.
But I think the tech giants are the ones that occupy the top.
You think the most
And
valuable
then oil companies, Exxon,
Yeah.
Shell, those guys are
And
up
then
there
what
too.
about companies like Coca-Cola,
Wait, what am I looking at?
Disney, the most valuable companies in the world?
Look up top 10 most valuable American companies. American companies.
I don't know. Facebook captures
Viacom.
the entire, like the attention of the entire nation. Damn,
Yeah.
that was a struggle.
Yeah.
Not just the nation.
the world.
yeah.
The world too.
Yeah.
But they made headlines. Mark was
then-
out here talking to government officials, and everybody was tuning in.
Yeah, but you look at like
Yeah.
an app like TikTok, which just got kicked off India, and that is a huge market for new apps, but also it entrenches Facebook's power.
It sets an
And
interesting.
then you got Facebook doing all the political stuff like you were just talking about. You got Facebook, you got Mark Zuckerberg actually coming out here and acting like a politician. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
He's got to move different, dude. Because he's got so much power and pull in all the different parts of the world, and they want to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
100%.
you kind of gonna have to bend over.
Yeah.
Like let's just be honest. What influences an election like Facebook?
Nothing.
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 They go into that in the social dilemma. It's weird because Zucks is like one of the most powerful unelected people in the world by far.
Yeah, for sure. But the market elected him, right? Like for sure.
I mean, I guess. I don't know if they selected Mark Zuckerberg. They selected Facebook. The market selected Facebook, not necessarily Mark Zuckerberg.
which he owns 52%.
right, but they selected the platform. They didn't select the man.
Tomato.
All right, you guys ready for this?
Let's hear it.
Yeah,
Okay,
Let's
so
start
it's the top 10 most valuable companies in America.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Number 1,
Wait, no, start at 10.
Number one's
Ooh.
okay.
Start at 10.
Number one's Apple, but
Build that suspense.
Oh, it's not Apple.
oh,
Alright.
Wait,
never
when is
guess
this
number
as of too?
4.
That's relevant. As of
March 2020.
Beautiful.
Close
that's
enough.
close
all right,
enough.
all
Yeah,
right. Let's start at 10.
Maybe Google.
All right, 10. Procter and Gamble.
Okay,
yeah,
makes
they're
sense.
huge.
They also own a ton of other companies.
Oh, dozens.
Dude,
CPG.
My mind's not even in the right spot.
9 is Visa.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, that
fuck.
makes sense too,
Yeah.
man.
8,
yeah.
JP Morgan Chase.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all the-
Yeah, the
7,
banking industry is still huge.
Johnson and Johnson.
They got everything.
They're like
That's
another
like a
Procter
Procter &
Gamble.
Gamble,
Yeah.
They own so
Yeah.
many other things, and
Yeah.
lot.
I've worked with Procter and Gamble and Unilever. They're huge. They're
Yeah.
they're fun.
yeah, I mean they have infinite money, and
Yeah.
they're just like so spend 70,000 a month
Yeah.
on Amazon.
A
ads.
wide catalog. It's good times.
What's next?
Number 6 is Walmart.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to Walmart. I don't know how they do it.
All
They're
right.
just better than everyone.
They've been around forever.
And they got Sam's Club.
Great CEOs.
Have you? I've never been to a Sam's
That's
Club.
how they do it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a Costco.
Okay.
These are the important conversations. I feel like. Go ahead.
Got to
go
give
ahead.
people what they want, man.
Okay, here we go. Number 5 is Facebook.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
That's actually a
Yeah.
lot lower than I
Rough.
thought.
Yeah, man.
We said top 3.
That's what I'm saying. My
Do
mind
they-
was in the wrong spot.
No, Facebook 5 sounds about right. Yeah.
Are they giving any like numbers around like billions and trillions and how much they're worth and stuff?
We can look it up.
No,
Okay.
they're just
Just
giving
curious.
like background
No
on
worries.
like founders and yeah. Okay, 4 is Google.
Okay.
Oh, Battle of
Oh,
Silicon Valley
Amazon.
right there.
Amazon's definitely top 3.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Number 3, Amazon.com.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
I don't think it's
Good.
going to be a tech giant, dude.
No, it's gonna be oil.
Yeah.
I put my money on oil. What's number 2?
Apple.
Apple.
Damn. Okay.
What's I could have guessed that.
All right, can we take bets? Like, can everyone guess their number 1?
Dude, if
Yeah.
Bill comes
Just
in
go
number
around.
one, I'm going to be...
I'll go Exxon.
I think like Viacom or something like that.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good guess.
That's good.
Does that mean Microsoft didn't even crack the top 10?
No, I don't know, man.
Is
Are we
it?
playing
Bill
some
might still
bets?
have that kind of power, bro. Why he's out here?
Does
He's
Bill
out here.
Bill's
have-
Bill's out here trying to build vaccines.
Does
Bro.
Bill
Wait,
have
oh,
a
you-
drip
Microsoft.
like
Bill's
that?
saving the world right now. Okay, he's got better things to worry about.
Oh, you, what's your guess?
I'm thinking Microsoft. I don't know.
What?
That's the only one that hasn't been mentioned.
Bro, they
actually.
don't even have an ad network.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, they got almost every PC in the world, but
Exactly. Government relies on that.
that's true.
Yeah.
But I could be right, way wrong. In
Isn't that a
symbol.
scary thought? The government relies on
Yeah, there's
Windows.
no way that
Windows?
there's no way that Microsoft's more valuable than Apple.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
You guys ready?
Wait,
I
what
think
did you,
Microsoft
Jordan?
is
What
more-
did you
I
pick?
think-
You didn't even.
Shit, I think it might be.
Dude, I'm off.
I don't
I'm
know,
off.
man. I really don't know.
My shot's garbage.
So
Let's see.
Tanner's
Definitely
got
more
Tanner's
Microsoft.
got Viacom. I have Exxon. He has Microsoft. That's a big bet.
Yeah, I have
No,
no
no.
idea. Let's
Okay.
hear
Risky.
it.
Let's hear number 1.
It's Microsoft.
Oh,
Dude.
Sorry, I don't want to scream in the mic, but I'm
Wow.
super excited, dude.
Wow, dude.
For
Great
sure,
guess.
Microsoft has more like units out there
Dude.
than
Oh,
Apple.
yeah,
Way
just-
more.
They're
They
just
got
so
them
embedded.
physical pieces out here, bro. Dang, the government relies on that shit heavily.
It's like
Like,
90%
I figured,
Microsoft.
I
Microsoft
figured,
97
I figured
type
by
shit.
Microsoft not being on that list, it had to be that one.
Yeah, of
but I
course,
was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how
process of elimination.
Yeah.
dude. That's how I
It
got
says a market cap of about 1.1 trillion.
that. Damn, everybody.
I'm actually really surprised.
DOS, excuse me. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Manny, shout out. Help.
Do you guys use anything Windows,
Trillions.
Microsoft?
DOS, right? Is it DOS?
DOS.
Like the original
We're
operating
asking
system.
our CTO. DOS, DOS,
DOS.
DOS, DOS.
Dude.
Spanish is DOS.
In Spanish, it's DOS.
I learned how to program in Microsoft DOS.
In Spanish, it's 2.
You're right. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I program on 2.
Dude, oh man, good times. I love
That's
it.
surprising. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
yeah,
Damn.
I mean,
Shout out Bill. That's why he's out here like saving the world, bro. He got
dude, that's
Yeah,
big.
that only makes
That's
sense.
big. I mean, you compare. So Apple's market cap's like 776.
It's actually an interesting point, though. I mean, maybe there's a bunch of reasons that I don't know of, but it's crazy how like TikTok wasn't allowed to be bought by Microsoft. They just like axed that stuff. Like, why wouldn't you want to be aligned with the biggest company in the world? I don't know. Maybe that's too simple a way of looking at it, but
Yeah, I mean, who knows what the deal was?
yeah, who knows?
Maybe Bill was like, You guys all have to wear Windows jackets to work every day.
Dude, in his documentary, he was kind of, didn't he mention that he was a little like, I wouldn't call it upset, but he knew he missed the window for mobile opportunity because he just didn't take action.
You
So
knew he missed the window.
Yeah, I mean, he missed the window. Huh?
Hey.
Whatever.
We got jokes.
Yeah. So I
yeah.
mean, did he miss it though? I feel like even when he came back to it and just had an inferior product.
I mean, yeah, he just knew he did not take action when he should have.
Facts, yeah.
Basically, like he just like, oh wow, I'm late to the game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and maybe this is a dig to get TikTok, get in the mobile game, get some data. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, he lost it to Oracle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But like I said, Bill's out here saving the world. He's got
Yeah,
big dick
dude.
energy.
Well, I don't
baby.
think Bill's
big
even-
dick Bill.
Bill's, I don't think like directly involved with Microsoft anymore, right? He's just like a board guy.
yeah, I think so.
He's not even
Yeah.
doing his thing. He's saving the world.
Yeah, it's. I think of all the conspiracy theories out there, the one I understand the least is that Bill Gates wants to implant microchips, like, and
Yeah.
it's nuts.
It's wild.
It's wild, and it affects a lot of people.
You know what's caused that like hysteria?
No.
Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Facts.
shout out Social Dilemma. Go check that shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Movie. I think it's awesome because the general public is now going to be becoming aware of what these platforms are.
Yeah.
But as people that work on them every day, like I've always wondered, like if people knew the targeting options we had,
I know.
especially back in the day,
Yeah.
like things have ended. Like it's cleaned up a lot now, but the OG ones where
Oh,
you could
yeah.
go by like credit score,
I think people would be scared, terrified.
Terrified.
But that data still exists. Like, think of like Visa.
Exactly.
Why do you think
It's just
Visa's so
packaged
powerful?
differently.
Who do you think Facebook's
They
gets
had
this
that data
information from? Yeah.
20 or 30 years ago before
Exactly.
Facebook.
That they are like the foundation of all of this infrastructure.
the amount
They
of
started to hoard
like
that stuff.
yeah, I I've done a lot of marketing and worked in the financial tech sector a little bit, and it's incredible how many things all run back to Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, they've got
All-
a ton of data. That's why I'm not surprised Visa's on that top 10. They've just got massive. They just have no way to, I mean, other than selling it, they don't really have another way to monetize it like Facebook does.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they get, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I have a hard time thinking that Visa couldn't figure out how to monetize an email list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's
they
just easier
most
for them to
they
sell
most
it.
definitely do, right?
Yeah, 100%.
They have
They have a
like-
credit card for each company that
Yeah.
they send.
And they have like partnership requests or like partnership offers where, and that's just getting people to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Like I can buy it without Visa. I don't need Visa to sponsor, whatever sports game ticket I'm purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
But Visa does because
Just awareness, man. Top of funnel stuff.
top of funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And they want transactions on their platform.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's their model. It's their model, you know. But the social dilemma thing is, yeah, it's wild. A lot of people are going to be, they're going to realize kind of how gnarly the whole algorithm is and the feed and what it's really doing. And it's like even some of the guys that were on there were saying like they don't even know what the algorithm is anymore. Like it's different than what they created. It evolved on its own. It's its own living thing at this point. It's just unfortunate that like negative news causes engagement. Engagement obviously propagates things to the top of the feed, and then it's just like a vicious cycle. And they go into that in the documentary, but it's just like, and we knew this, but just kind of hearing about it again it just resonates a little differently.
It's like a byproduct of something that had great intentions initially, and it's like people with bad intentions just manipulating the platform for what it is also.
Yeah, facts.
So it's just like
Facts.
people becoming more aware will help. It'll just help them, avoid the negative media or the negative news, or be able to find credible resources or.
And like if they see something fishy in the wild, like online, they'll just tap that report, and then if that happens 3 times, Sasisa,
Boom. Exactly.
So like, I don't think people realize how seriously Facebook takes their feedback, but Facebook they'll ruin an entire business model
that's
at the
true.
thought, not even think about it, if it would make Facebook even just a little bit less exciting to the user.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem is managing that issue at scale, right? Like that's the problem I see.
I don't know if like
How do you manage that much data in making sure that your platform's free of quote unquote fake news at scale? I mean, they talk about that a lot in the documentary. Everything's at scale. So it's like, how do you manage that at scale? Other
So-
than using other algorithms, obviously, but
Sure. So, I mean,
Create that family.
yeah.
They need siblings.
just a bunch of machine learning cousins, artificial intelligent ants, who just like, yeah,
I don't
dude.
know why
one-
that concept's so funny.
I don't know either. But once algorithms start, optimizing algorithms to the degree, I mean, it's already happening.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh, dude, damn, they'll just build a whole army.
exactly. It's what I'm
Is this
saying.
how it starts?
And then you put them in a robot. And
And then the whole world ends, and it's Will Smith and his dog versus all the robots.
is that a movie or something?
I've seen this before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that the most valuable company in the world doesn't actually sell anything. Or like one of the most valuable companies in America, Facebook.
Yeah.
They don't sell anything
They
at
sell
all.
retail space.
Yeah, they sell ad
It's
space.
attention.
Ad
yeah,
space.
they
Yeah.
got them eyeballs, baby.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
those eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just keeps getting better, dude. I mean, I try not to spend too much time on Facebook, but like when you go on there and you go deep into like its features and like you can find cool stuff. Like there's a lot of cool shit on there.
Yeah.
True.
You can spend hours on Facebook.
The algorithm gets smart. Like, and people at home do this experiment. Pick anything you want. Pick a dog. Pick a football game. Anything, and just start making sure you engage with all of one topic, whatever it is.
You can do that on Instagram too.
Yeah, every dog post you find, just engage with a bunch of dog posts, and then all of a sudden you'll start seeing them in your feed. Engage with them. Before you know it, all you will see are dog posts. The algorithm is tailored to you. Its goal is to be the most useful and predictive it can be, but it's gotten to a point where it's boomeranging. It stopped being useful, and now it's like we don't want to do anything except stare at the digital crack rock that is Instagram likes
Right.
and Twitch.
Dude,
and
so where does it go? Like how do we reel that back in as a society? You can't turn it off. There's too much money involved.
Just make
gotta
people
be a
aware at
mental thing.
large. Yeah, you
Yeah.
make them aware.
Yeah.
The
Awareness
revolution
key
will
to,
not be
like,
televised.
Yeah.
It's got to go on in the head.
yeah, facts.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100.
it's not something, and I mean, I just accept it as reality, right?
It is what it is.
Exactly. Once you accept it as reality, then you learn that social media is just a tool. It's just a network. That's
Right.
all it is. It's just a network that connects people and things, and you can turn off your phone whenever you want.
Right. Everything in
Yeah.
moderation. It's like
Yeah.
drinking or anything.
Well, like I went without a phone for what, like 3 months, long time.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. At first, when you get your phone back, you don't have phantom vibrations. You don't check it for no reason. But sure enough, you have it back for 2 months, and bam, it all comes back. And so it just like, I think that's such a good way to like physical evidence, right? That it's messing with our heads, the devices, and how we engage with social media specifically.
Yeah.
It's messing with the neural connections in our brain.
It's not the smartphone, I would say. It's the social media apps that's doing that. Because it's like we talked about it right before when we got on. It's
But-
like I
but
think most of the time that people spend on their phones is on social media. So it's like, and I have personally removed social media before too. And it's like, I don't get those phantom vibrations anymore. I'm not so anxious with it anymore when I don't have social media. It's
Right.
just a phone. It's just a tool.
Right.
People call me, people text me, use the calculator, whatever. It's more of a tool rather than whatever it becomes when social media is on it.
Right. Yeah, but I think, it's it's social media, but you can go on social media on a desktop, right? So I think the phone, it makes it extra crack rocky because
It's a tap.
It's in your pocket, yeah, and you just pull it, and then boom, you look on Instagram and you saw someone liked your photo, and you're like, gosh, I'm so great, and it just gives you this whole unearned dopamine loop. It's like a reward. You were bored, and you're like, oh, I feel better now. Like that was interesting, right?
Yeah.
And so now your brain is dopamine is it's binary in the brain, right? The brain either gets it or it doesn't. It doesn't care if the source of dopamine is a really bad thing for the human body, right? It doesn't care. It's binary. And so when it gets dopamine from something like Instagram, it now learns, hey, if you're in a spot that is unpleasant, like say trying to focus on your work, you can go get dopamine by just pulling out your phone. Your brain knows that. So it's like, go get dopamine. And before you know it, you're scrolling through Instagram when you're trying to focus on your work. And most people don't realize that is the product of an unearned dopamine loop that's been established in their brain, facilitated by a phone from their brain and a social network. And that's why the ADD generation is just off.
The charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Meanwhile, Facebook and all these companies make money off of it.
That's
So then there's,
exactly
like-
what they make money on.
Right, exactly. So there's like that argument, that dilemma. It's like, okay, well, where's the line, right? Like, should we be okay with just this happening? Should we just let it resolve itself? Do we have to intervene? What do we do?
I feel like it's already happened time and time again. It's just like it's
The
a
cat's
different
out of the
form
bag.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we need to do anything. I think we're talking
Okay.
about it, and that's like it.
Yeah.
It's like these things it's just a natural byproduct of making a thing, right?
Right.
Like these algorithms are super advanced.
Yeah.
It's Pandora's box. We didn't really know what we were letting out, but at the time we were like, oh, it's just going to recommend some funny cat videos. What's the worst thing that can
Sure.
happen? Then before you know it, like Russia's meddling with the United States election. Like, it's,
Yeah,
it's
it's wild.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's like what OU said. It's just like you just gotta self-control. You gotta control yourself and just not let you fall.
For sure.
Fall into it.
Yeah, like Tyler the Creator says, just close your eyes.
Right.
Just it's
Just walk away.
walk away. Just it's your phone. Hey,
Yeah.
I threw my phone away. I'm free from it. But people feel it's like FOMO, right? And
Big time.
I think so few people actually have a purpose for doing what they're doing. They tell themselves it's a purpose, but really it's just they want to provide for their family, so they need money.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, that's a means to an end. That is not a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I think it's enough to motivate you for sure. And it's probably the strongest motivating factor, but it's not a purpose, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to really look and find your reason why, like
Yeah.
why you're doing things. And
Yeah.
if you can't find a good reason, you probably shouldn't be doing them.
Yeah.
But it's harder
Especially if
than
you want to be successful.
It's harder than you
Right.
think, though. Like, it's harder than you think to find a real why, right? What's the reason I do something? Like, aside from this is better than all the other ways I could make money, right? Like, why do I wake up every day on fire to do this? It's hard to really find that thing. And I think it only comes from, like, really knowing who you are and, like, knowing what you care about.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which is also hard to
Right.
That's
attain
hard.
in itself.
that's really hard. Yeah, exactly.
There's levels to
'Cause
this
everyone's
game.
why is different. Everyone's reason is different.
100%. Z knows.
Yeah. Z knows everything.
He knows his reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, all of these things
Z's like treats.
Yeah.
That's the why.
This is what I live for. Yeah, it's hard, man. Life's hard. But there's also like an element of like doing for the sake of doing. What do you think about that?
I'm all about that, right?
Yeah.
Just for inherently just doing for the sake of doing it and
Yeah.
doing it well for the sake of doing
Yeah,
it.
this is
well.
what
What are you doing?
This is
Yeah.
like how Nietzsche defined art. Something that's made for the sake of being made.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Shout out to Nietzsche.
Good guy.
Great guy. kind of got a little weird there at the end.
But let's get back to that though. How does someone who doesn't understand that concept wrap their head around that?
Which concept?
Of doing for the sake of doing.
For sure. So I think a good way to evaluate what your motivations are, I look on your social media. If you post inspirational shit, if you post all this stuff about achieving your dreams, you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
I'm just going to say that flat. Like, and then look at like what you talk about and what you tell your friends about and what your social media looks like and then what you've actually done on paper. Do those things match?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, those things do not match. If you look at my social media, you'd be like, this guy does nothing with his life. Just hangs out with his family.
Same, dude.
Right?
I have
Yeah,
no
for real.
posts right now.
Exactly. And that's, that's calculated, right? That's a decision that we've all made because we understand what the black box algorithm really is,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we're not trying to participate in that.
We use it, but the other side of it.
We use it as a tool. Yeah, we're on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think a lot of people will do things purely just for the money, and I don't think that's necessarily bad. I just don't think that doing it just for the money is going to make you reach the ceiling that you could have had if you did it for the right reasons.
For sure.
And those things are really, really hard to find, right? Really hard to find. And you have to be willing to sacrifice a lot more than the average person would have to sacrifice to get there. And I'm realizing that firsthand.
Right.
On the projects that I've been creating, holy shit. It's hard to shower in the morning and wonder if you're a complete failure because you don't like how one aspect of the platform looks, right? And it's like, especially before, you've really brought your platform to the market and people are using it, and, you just kind of every day have to keep grinding at something that you're just like, dude, I hope this is so sick.
Mm-hmm.
But you have no idea. You have no clue.
But for the person who's sitting and doing the job that they hate to do, how do you escape that and get to a point where like you're doing something for the sake of doing it, but you also like doing it and it's meaningful for you?
So I think at first you need to answer the question of how do I become financially independent?
Yeah.
How do I not have to, how do I become independent where I can do whatever I want to go do and still make money, right? And I don't have to rely on anyone. I've just relied on myself. I mean, that's step one. Once you get there, then it's like, okay, we've arrived. I got the skill set, right? And what's sad is a lot of people stop. They're just like, now I'm just going to get as rich as I can. And I'm down for that argument, right? The it's all just numbers in a game thing. But I don't feel that. You know what I mean?
You mean they gain like financial independence from let's say like they open their own business or something like that and then they stop?
No, they stop innovating, right? They push themselves and they innovate and they become someone who starts their own business, who does their own thing. They attain financial independence and then they stop. They're good. And I think that once you get to that point, that's when you got to find out your why. You got to find the thing that really pushes you. And once you answer that and you have the resources, then you can do the thing that really matters, right?
Well, it's like you open up, I mean, the financial worries are gone, so it opens up a lot more bandwidth in your mind and in your day to worry about those things and think about those things.
You finally control your day at that point.
100%.
And then you can go on to do greater things. But you say most people don't even do that. So they get to the point where they get financial and then they just kind of...
I'm going to keep making money until I die.
Right. Right.
Because it's comfy.
Because it's comfy. But hate their job or hate what they're doing.
Or I'm just saying, it doesn't, they lose their fire.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And the only way you can keep your fire is if you're innovating all the time. Otherwise, it just burns out.
You gotta stay in the cut.
You got to stay in the cut. Big facts. That's a great way to say it. You got to stay in the cut. Otherwise, you're just going to lose your edge and someone's going to come knock your head off.
Yeah.
Right. Can't get complacent.
Yeah. Even if you're just as simple as a donut shop or selling ice cream, it's you got to find ways to get more customers, open more stores. I mean, you're just sitting there on the corner, like you said, over time, someone newer is going to come in with more technology and finding cooler ways to serve ice cream, as simple as that sounds.
Yeah. And I mean, right now I'm at a place where I don't have to worry about money to pay bills. You know what I mean? But I greatly worry about how I'm spending my money, right? So I have financial concerns, but they're not the same concerns that I used to have.
Yeah, they're different.
And now I'm questioning how much of my financial energy is going to making things that are going to make, huge impacts. And to get there, dude, you got to really, really push yourself and go in find things that, oh, never mind.
Yeah, maybe it's out of the scope of this podcast today. That's like a 0 degrees after dark.
Yeah, I realized
Saturday
going.
night.
I was going way too far down the rabbit hole of like things I've been thinking about by myself. So I'm like, yeah, it's time to pass it.
Yeah, for sure. No, but I think I get what you're talking about. There's levels to that game, and we're all kind of in that same boat of like trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's like really hard.
Yeah,
I think
you
the
figure something out, and then there's another problem.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah, exactly. And it's just like one thing after another. But I think it's like as you go, though, you get better at solving the problems. The problems seem to get harder, but you get better at solving them at the same time, too, which is an interesting thing.
I think,
Problem solvers win at life.
yeah,
Yeah.
facts.
You just look at them differently.
And that's a good example of like doing it to do it. You said like
Mhm.
becoming a good problem solver. I'm doing it to do it because I know that being a good problem solver is going to help me do anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a good problem solver and you own a donut store and you don't have customers, you're like, well, I know marketing is going to give me some customers. So you start running a free donut ad on Facebook, and
Yeah.
you got 300 people in
Right.
your donut shop, right?
Totally. Yeah, man, it's tough, and that's a whole another challenge. How do you become a good problem solver? It's like, well, not by not solving a lot of problems first. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like
So-
failing on your.
Yeah,
Go
so that's
ahead.
what I would say to the 9 to 5 person who's trying to escape is start figuring out what problems you got, no matter how big or small, and start solving them.
Yeah.
like
And also just start recognizing problems at large, right? Like if you realize that you have a solution to a problem, it doesn't matter what it is, right? Like when I worked at consulting.com, there was a guy who consulted men on their porn addiction.
Yeah.
He made him
Damn.
over a million.
it's a big problem.
It's a huge problem.
It's a huge problem.
Huge problem.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you can literally, if there's a problem, you can literally make money solving it.
Yeah, well, that's what a market is. But no, but yeah, to your point, I think you're right. I think it starts with the small problems. You gotta like fix the smaller issues
Yeah.
in your life because that's the only way that you're gonna fix the.
Learn how to
bigger
brush your
issues.
teeth better. Like,
Yeah, I think Jordan Peterson says that. It's like you got to make your bed first. You got to like clean your home.
Okay.
Like you got to make sure that before you can go
Yeah,
out
yeah.
into the world and try to figure out all the problems and judge other people and do all the things that people do out in the world, you got to really look. There goes his iPhone. You really got to look inside, and the home is kind of like a metaphor for that. But yeah, you really got to do that. And it's just starts small, and it's one day at a time.
So what do you think about guys like Mark Cuban who are like, yeah, my house is a mess all the time. I'm a slob. My towel
Oh, no.
could stand up in the corner.
he's one of those guys I feel like does have it figured out somewhat. From the way I look at him, he seems like a successful, happy dude.
Yeah.
like he loves life. So
For
I don't know.
sure.
I don't know what to feel about that.
But when you're that rich, I mean, you're not thinking about your dirty towel. Dude. You got maids.
My point being, like
Yeah.
he was never clean, never. He was always like
For sure, but there must have been something "quote unquote" tidy within the way he approached life. Like there must have been some sort of structure that he understood to navigate the things that he did to get to where he is today.
Yeah, so I think he gave a shit about his business and didn't give a shit about his room.
Yeah.
Maybe it's as
exactly.
simple as that. Maybe, yeah.
Some people don't keep their rooms clean, and they keep their car very clean. So
Yeah,
it's just
Exactly.
What do you
That's
value
true.
most?
Right, but I'm using the home as a metaphor, right? I'm not saying
yeah.
necessarily
100,
literally.
100.
Yeah.
But like Jordan Peterson actually goes in on like how you need to make your bed.
Yeah. Well, some people need to start there, frankly.
Yeah, I think it's a good starting point. But
Yeah.
I actually read like a Reddit post of some guy being like, "Yeah, I cleaned my room," and then before I knew it, I was just like, "Wait, this is awesome!" And then I was motivated, and then I got a job, and it's like,
Whoa.
Yeah,
Only
well-
on Reddit, dude.
I know, it's like all probably fake.
Yeah. Those damn algorithms.
At work, dude, somebody manipulating it.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, but for sure, man. Like I totally vibe with that like response. You gotta figure out what the problems are, and just figure it out. and use people. Ask your friends. Ask your parents if you can. Like ask people for help. Go onto the web. Search. There's resources that are free that you can do. Read. I mean, there's so many things that you can do to kind of start solving those problems. And then once you do, then you go into like those next steps that Jordan just outlined. Is like then you become financially independent. You figure out kind of how to make money, what it's all about, how to make more money, create value, and things like that. And then from there, I mean, you can do whatever you want.
So, do you guys think, true or false, digital marketing is the best way to become financially independent as of right now?
oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm biased. But
Yeah. I mean, we're all doing the same thing, so I'd say
Yeah.
yeah too. But there's other things too, right?
There is other things, but
I mean, it just
It's
allows
up there.
anything you're passionate about. It just gives you that vehicle to find
Yeah.
financial independence from anything that you love doing.
That's what I'm saying. You can back into anything.
Exactly, and figure out a way. It just
Solve a problem.
Exactly.
There you
Solve
go.
a problem.
there you
Redefining
go.
what's success to you. It's the same, sort of thing.
For a lot
Solve
of
it.
people too. That's what you can do this for. Solve a lot of problems, help a lot of people. That's why having a good product is super important.
Yeah, it's actually that's what I'm saying. It's harder to solve a problem than people realize. It
Right.
really
Sure.
is.
Right.
It really is. And also, you have to, solving a problem is not just you have to do more than that, right? You have to solve someone's problem in a more cost-effective way than any of your competitors.
Right. Otherwise, you're going to lose money every time you solve someone's problem.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
People,
And that's just the
people
market.
losing money selling products. It's great. But it happens every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's inevitable.
It's like people say it's easy to make money, but it's hard to keep it.
Mm-hmm. It's so much fun to spend, though, too.
Money is fun.
It's so much fun. You can do so many activities.
Yeah.
But I think the big takeaway is you got to start small. Like if that's we kind of went a weird route with this like podcast in terms of like going into the solving problems, but like it goes back to just like it starts small. Like if you want to become financially independent, if you want to find meaning in what you do every day, you got to start with the little things. Like Tanner said, solve a small problem, and it's just building blocks.
Snowball effect,
Yeah,
You
exactly.
start small and roll that bad boy out.
Yeah, if you want to learn digital marketing, another great way to become financially independent, go to trafficpilot.com.
Yeah.
We'll teach you the best tactics in the game, along with there are actually tools that are created to help you reprogram your mind. Real talk.
Pretty cool stuff. Community is pretty cool too. I'm getting a lot of value out of the community calls. As someone who's not as ingrained in Facebook as you guys, just even listening to you guys on those community calls, I've already learned so much more. So those are super cool too.
Yeah, we go live every Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Higher.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Anything else before we go?
No, man.
Adios.
That was
Peace.
fun.
Have a
See
good
you
night, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe at all of the regular podcast stations, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Yeah, we'll be making these things pretty regularly. So make sure to subscribe, put on the notifications, and we